I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to this listening session for faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Alcorn State University, as well as interested members of the community. The Board of Trustees of State Institutions of Higher Learning is holding this session to allow all stakeholders to have a voice in the desired qualities and qualifications for the next president of Alcorn State University. I'm Al Rankins. I serve as Commissioner of Higher Education. I'm a proud graduate of Alcorn and had the honor of serving as its 19th president. Please allow me to introduce you to members of the Board of Trustees who were able to be here today. Trustee G. Ogletree from Madison, Trustee Teresa Hubbard from Oxford, Trustee Hal Parker from Bolton, and we also have Trustee Chip Morgan from Leland who will join us momentarily. We also have Trustee Jenny Lucky who's joining us virtually from Ocean Springs. To stay up to date on the search process, please review the link to the Alcorn State search page on the IHL website. In addition to today's listening sessions, we will also have an online survey for those members of the Alcorn family who are unable to attend or who wish to submit written comments. This survey will be available on the Alcorn Presidential Search page on the IHL website at www.mississippi.edu. The survey will be available immediately following the last session today and will remain open until midnight on February the 12th. The information we learned in today's listening session and throughout the online survey period will be used to prepare the profile for the candidate we will seek. Your input is valuable, and your participation in this process is important to us. We could not develop the candidate profile without hearing the qualities and qualifications you believe are needed in the next president of Alcorn State University. I would like to share a few ground rules to help us conduct an effective listening session this afternoon. First, please approach the microphone to speak. When it's your turn to speak, please state your name and your affiliation with the university. As I mentioned, these sessions are being live streamed, so please use the microphones to ensure online viewers can hear your comments. We are also recording the session to post on our website so potential candidates can also hear all of your comments. Secondly, we do not have limits for time on comments, but please be considerate of the person waiting to speak behind you. We want to hear from everyone who wishes to speak. If you have longer comments to share, please submit them through the online comment form on the IHL website. Thirdly, because the process of accepting applicants has not begun, it is premature to discuss any potential applicants. Please refrain from doing so at this time. Finally, I ask you to help us develop the candidate profile by focusing on the future of Alcorn State University and the qualities and qualifications we should seek in the next president. The future is bright for Alcorn, and we want to hear your thoughts on the type of leader needed to move Alcorn forward. At this time, please come forward to the microphones and share your thoughts.
There we go. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I think most of you know me. I'm Dr. Heather Bailey. I am an assistant professor in the Department of English. And this is important context for what I'm about to say as well. I am tenure track. I have one more year before I go up for tenure. And I am newly out of graduate school. I earned my PhD in 2019, and then I came straight to Alcorn. So that's some context for me and for the comments that I'm about to give. So the first thing I wanted to say, and Dr. Rankins, I am going to try to keep this brief, and I will follow up in the survey as well. The first thing I wanted to emphasize was that I'm going to use the term leadership and not just a president. I know this is specifically for the search for a president, but all of the leadership that president brings with him is also important, and especially in academic affairs, which is what I want to speak to because I'm a faculty member. So here are some qualities that I would like to see, and I'm just going to hold this, that I would like to see in the next president and academic affairs leadership here at Alcorn. So number one, I'd like to see somebody who is progressive, and I am defining progressive as proactive instead of reactive. Being able to anticipate current trends and actually implementing those on the front end. And I'm going to give you an example, one of many, which is leaning into online teaching. That is the future of higher education, whether we like it or not. We need to be proactive about leaning into that and providing training for faculty to ensure that it's still quality education. That also will boost our enrollment numbers. We also need to be thinking about faculty retention. As a new faculty member, this is near and dear to my heart. There need to be opportunities for younger faculty to be mentored and get training, especially in positions in the administration. I look around and think, long term, is this where I want to be? What kind of opportunities am I being given, right, to get more training? We also need a president who is willing to think about finances in a nuanced way. So, fiscal austerity is usually just used, in my opinion, as a cop-out for not, thinking critically or in an imaginative way. And we've heard a lot of that, unfortunately, with previous administrations. So I would like to see a president that's not hiding behind fiscal austerity, but is instead thinking about the idea that we need to be spending money. It's just about where we're spending money and making sure that that is primarily going to, first and foremost, teaching and learning. We are a university, and the resources need to be going first and foremost to the reason why we're all here, which is teaching and learning. That includes things like Wi-Fi, which still does not work consistently at this university. We have got to be investing more money in the infrastructure for internet fiber optics. I can't do my job when the internet cuts out, which happens almost at least once a week, typically. We need to be investing more money in the library and in funding faculty to do research. This is another thing that a younger faculty member is looking out for, right? What kind of funding can I get so that I can travel to conferences that are not in my, not within driving distance? Right now, that's pretty limited for us. Okay, and then finally, two more things. I'd like to see the president empowering faculty and staff and students to create genuine dialogue. One of the other things I've witnessed is there's not a lot of dialogue happening. There's Q&A sessions. There have been town halls where someone will ask a question, bring up an idea, and we have been met with defensiveness, and in some cases, attacks, right, in return. And that's not productive for anybody moving forward. So we need a leader who can actually have a dialogue And this goes to my final point, a leader who is secure and confident enough to engage with constructive criticism. So that means admitting mistakes, because we all make mistakes, and being okay with saying that. Hey, thank you for that comment. You're right. That wasn't a good policy decision, but I hear you, and I'm gonna change my behavior. That's something else that, in my experience, has been lacking thus far, and I would like to see again opportunities for us to have real conversations instead of, again, just like a defensiveness on the part of the leadership. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Thank you, everyone. I'll follow up with more details as well in the questionnaire. Thank you.
Emmanuel Barnes, class of 74, which means this is my golden year coming up. I'm a 2018 retiree as Vice President for Student Affairs. And my comments are not complicated. First, a person who gets the enrollment and the significance of enrollment management. Second, one who has realized that we have to be good stewards of the money while at the same time trying to be a fundraiser. Third, willing to engage with the various constituents in a transparent way, to be honest with them about what we can and cannot do at the university. And fourth, that they simply follow board policy, state and federal law. And if we can find those qualities, I believe that we'll be able to move ourselves forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melinda Butler. I am a 72 graduate of Oklahoma State University. I began my career in secondary education at the Port Gibson district, and since 1989, I've done adjunct here at Oklahoma State University, and in 2007, I became a faculty member in the School of Education and Psychology. I listened to Heather here. I listened to Dean Barnes. I agree with everything they said. But I just want to add a few other things. And because of my age, I've written them down. Leadership is very important. Heather mentioned dialogue. I also want to mention that the next president should be comfortable speaking with diverse group of people. No matter what's the ethnicity, no matter what the age, and that's a 70-year-old or a 75-year-old, an 18-year-old. But they should be comfortable having that dialogue with them. This will give them the ability to negotiate solutions when perspectives are critical. They're listening to everyone's perspective. Academic credential. Of course, we want the president to be well educated. But I think it's important that they understand, and I come from the academic area, tenure, publishing, teacher-student relationship, and the ability to deliberate these benefits to the individual that's part of the university. The president must have an insight into how to establish curricula. I listened to the earlier listening session. The world is changing. Curricula is changing. Alcorn has to be able to compete globally or send our students out to compete globally. We cannot operate in the silo. What was curricula during my time, 72, it's, it's not today. So we must change. And I also believe that the president would ideally have published something, has a passion for something, has done research with something, personal characteristics. The ideal president candidate must be a person of high values, above any hint of improper action, no matter how trivial. Ethics are stressed in college so the leader must also demonstrate this as well. The president must be aware of what is happening globally. The individual must do whatever is possible to fight ignorance, bigotry, poverty, hunger, health problems. And almost every university I visit has a health and wellness center. I don't see that here on this campus. And injustice. A person who has exhibited and done things to improve the world deserves consideration as president of our university. And I want to say this. Over time, the relationships of colleges and the federal government has increased. In some instances, certain activities could threaten federal support of academic programs and research. A president experienced in government relations, accreditation, all these will affect the sustainability of the university. And again, I've listened to the morning session. So many things have been said that I agree with, but I just like to add those. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Bell, and I serve as an officer on Alcorn's National Alumni Board. I'm a proud 1992 graduate of this great institution. In trying to think about my comments for this morning, I think back to when I stepped on the campus of this university in the summer of 1987. Someone who came from a very small town in Mississippi in Walthall County, eyes wide open, ready for any possibility that this university could offer me. And so in my time of being a proud alumni and in working with the university and alumni, faculty, and staff, the qualities that I'm looking for in our next leader is someone who has a passion for students and the belief in the power of education to change lives by offering opportunities for them to learn, grow, thrive, and have a voice for communicating to this body what matters and what is important to them. I'm looking for a leader who serves as a staunch advocate for the needs of this institution and pushes forward by demonstrating collaborative, transparent, and innovative leadership. I'm looking for a leader who can empower faculty and staff and help them to utilize their potential and provide opportunities for them to communicate exactly what is important to them so that they can serve the needs of the students here at the university. I'm looking for someone who can partner with the National Alumni Association to listen to the concerns that we have, how we're helping in our community to bring students and funding to the university so that it can fulfill the mission and vision of its institution. I'm looking for a leader who can make hard choices when necessary and communicate them with love, patience, and grace. We are a land-grant institution situated in an area far from some of the nearest cities, and we make do with what we have. But sometimes there are some choices that have to be made that we as alumni, students, faculty, and staff may not like, but we need a leader who can communicate, show us the big picture of why this is necessary and what it's going to do to help level us up in the playing field. And then finally, I want a leader who is knowledgeable about what's going on globally and nationally and how it would impact our university and what we can all do to come together to make it better. I do feel that we are on the right path, but I am looking for someone who can level up Alcorn State University and make us out to be what the founders of this great institution envisioned for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Erin Nichols, a biology pre-professional major hailing from Canton, Mississippi, and I serve as Miss Freshman. And I'd like to start by thanking you all for being here today. And some of the qualities I look for in a president are someone who is willing to work with students and actually try to enforce their ideas, someone who communicates with students when issues arise on campus, someone who knows how to maintain the values of the university with the changes of our generation, and someone who keeps an academic catalog updated with the courses needed for students to become successful and compete in corporate America. Thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I am Ella Wal, a 1970 graduate of Alcorn A&M College. And later I received a master's degree from Alcorn State University. And I have been associated with Alcorn since 1966. And I have been familiar and supportive of Alcorn State University programs. What I would like to see in a president is one that's approachable. He needs to be approachable as well as learned of Alcorn's programs, a land-grant university. We must remember that we, in 1871, was established. So Alcorn must be learned of all of these programs and laws that affect land-grant universities. We want someone who's comfortable with attending small towns as well as large towns to promote Alcorn State University. And I say to you, Alcorn first. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Destiny Mayfield, and I'm a third-year biology pre-medicine major from Vicksburg, Mississippi. What I would like to see in a president is somebody that addresses and speaks to the needs of the students, effectively communicating with them about changes that will affect them, such as why the water continues to be shut off in female honors dorms constantly, like once a week. I would also like to see a president that is able to address why there are no minors here at Alcorn State University. Because I would love to be able to minor in psychology, but this is not an opportunity presented to me, so I would love to know why that is. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am Girish Patel. I'm a professor here in Plant and Soil Sciences and also the director of a USD research program started here in 1988. I came here in 1992. I joined the program. Now, it helped me a lot. Alcorn helped me a lot. Wherever I go, I say, I'm a son of Alcorn. I never said I'm an alumnus, because I was treated like a son. I was offered the dean position in Prairie View University. I did not go. Because I worked here, I have been to 27 countries so far. Wherever I go, the last speech was in France, International Horticulture Congress, people from 156 countries. Wherever I go, I tell one sentence. I just want to tell sentence to everybody. I tell I'm Girish Patel, originally from India, but I am representing the first agriculture university in the world. When I say these three words, first agriculture university in the world, the whole audience will look at me. Established for African descendants. This is a sentence I tell everywhere. Texas A&M, Alcorn A&M, Mississippi State A&M, all university name is A&M, A&M. That is why Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Act. This is the second Morrill Act. So 1890s, 19 universities. 1994, 29 universities. Then 18th century university. All universities have the same name, A&M, A&M. When I came here as a student, graduate student, I'm a graduate in 1992, MS Agronomy. And the teaching was excellent here because 98% of the faculty, even now, you do a master's here in Alcorn. Easily, I did my PhD in Mississippi State. It was very easy to do PhD there. Dr. Rankins is my classmate, and he was doing PhD there in agronomy. I was in horticulture. And here Alcorn coaching is excellent because 98% of faculty, international faculty, excellent coaching. But when I came here, we have goats, beef cattle, dairy cattle, broilers, layers. Now we have nothing. Whenever I go to the cafeteria to eat food, lunchtime I saw they were pouring the milk in the drainage. I asked them why. They said, students they don't drink milk. So they asked me to give me a gallon of milk, empty gallon. I used to get free gallon milk every week, every Saturday. Now those things are not there. So certain things we cannot teach. We need the chicken, turkey, goat, sheep, all this here. Then only we can teach. And at the same time, this is the best place for agriculture because Abraham Lincoln did not sign the agreements. For 1 year, the senators approached. He said, I will not sign until the university is located in a rural area. So this is still rural area. This is the best place for students. Even I asked some students, one time Dr. Bristow's nephew was working with me. He said after coming here, he didn't have asthma. I asked the students, many students, when they come, very few of them, maybe 1%, 2%, they have asthma. When they come here, they have no asthma. Because this is a very highly healthy area for students, for agriculture. And there are so many things. Mississippi #1 in catfish production, #1 in chicken production, and forest. A lot of things are here. But the problem is, in unemployment comes, they have a problem. They say, but I'm not getting into that area, but we need the help to make sure that continue helping the university to make sure that university will flourish, the best university in the world. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I have a couple things, the first two of which are going to sound contradictory. For a president, I would like to see somebody at Alcorn who can recognize the niceties of finance in higher education. For example, our university has a habit that I find a bit puzzling of farming out work that could easily be taken care of by the professoriate that is already a part of this university. We hire consulting firms to write documents for accreditation. We hire consulting firms to write our vision statement. And in so doing, we become alienated from the stuff that is really important to us because it's not ours. It's some firm in Philadelphia or wherever. And that costs money, of course, money that could be going towards our underpaid instructors, our underpaid faculty, our underpaid staff members. We have an incredibly gifted group of faculty here, and I feel that their expertise is not being used in the way that it could be. We're perfectly capable of writing vision statements. of writing QEPs, of writing the kind of stuff that has cost this university lots and lots of money in the past decade or more. Now, on the flip side, we, as a couple people have mentioned, there are areas where we like to penny pinch. There's been a rise in contingent labor. And from my perspective as a faculty member, I'm tenure track, but I've been a contingent faculty member. I've been an adjunct. It's no fun. It's not fun to not have a contract, to have to live by contract to contract or class to class or get paid by the class. So I would like to see a president who is suspicious of relying more on the cheaper contingent labor like adjuncts and more interested in shoring up our already robust instructor system, setting up an instructor system that is tiered so that there are incentives for promotion, not with a low ceiling, but, instructors that can feel as if they are a part of the professoriate and not, second tier. So lastly, and I'm speaking on behalf of my students here, Alcorn is no different in, it's part of our recruitment to have shiny facades. You drive around you drive around our university and it's stunning. The outside of the buildings look immaculate. It's a beautiful campus, but a lot of our buildings are in disrepair. I'm thinking of dormitories in particular. And I know this not from experience, but I know this from hearing my students talk about it, ad nauseum. And I'm not complaining ad nauseum. It just seems to be something that is on a lot of students' minds. So I would like to see a president who's invested not just on polishing the exterior of the university so that students, when touring the university, look at all the buildings and are like, wow, these are beautiful buildings. And then they matriculate here and they enter their dorm and they're like, well, there's mold on the wall. This isn't good. So I would like a president who is willing to spend money and help shore up those parts of our university that aren't seen on the tours that students take when we're recruiting them. The parts of the building that they'll only see after they pay tuition. Thank you all for your time. Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Logan Wiedenfeld, and I'm an assistant professor in the English department.
Greetings. My name is Solomon Bryan, a junior education major, and also serve as the Student Government Association First Vice President. What we like to see in the president is someone who is honest and has a great sense of character, compassion, and integrity for others. What else we would like to see in the president is someone who actually cares for the students and cares for the faculty and staff. Someone who, if issues comes up to them, they know how to understand it and solve it, and if they can't solve it, they try their best at solving the issue and other things like that. So what we're looking for in the president of Alcorn is just a person that likes interacting with the students, that likes to uphold the tradition and history of Alcorn State University, and then the president that likes to, bring Alcorn into the next history to make this university that we love greater.
Good afternoon to Commissioner Rankins and members of the board. I'm C.J. Rhodes, and I serve as Director of Religious and Spiritual Life here at Alcorn. And I want to speak to 3 C's that I think are important, not just so much in terms of the traits of a president, but where we are. First of all is our context. have been here last September 10 years, and I have served at the will and pleasure of 7 presidents, be they acting, interim, or full. That's a lot of presidents in just a decade. And so my hope is that for the sake of stability and to avoid what I would call visionary whiplash, that we have someone who can come in at least 5 years. Each president has had a different accent, a different emphasis, academic or professional, and in some regards that meant that there's sort of the tug and pulls. Every 2 to 4 years, there's a new direction. So we do need to have stability here at the university, and I hope that whoever is the next president plans to be here for a long time. Second is related to culture. As been stated by a number of the persons who spoke before me in the previous session and this one, Alcorn is a very special place. It's a rural place. And not only do students have to be recruited and retained, but the employee pool. A number of us travel 45 minutes to an hour and a half to come here. I'm one of them that drives an hour and a half. And when asked, why do you do it? Part of it's because of the culture. When I first got here 10 years ago, Alcorn was like a family, like a big porch. I think in the last few years, that cultural atmosphere piece has sort of been jeopardized in some ways. And we need a person who can come in and ensure that that part is there, because we can improve the academics, we can improve the student life, but there's something unique about this culture, this knowledge and character culture, this sort of rural culture, that if we don't hold on to it, I think we lose a very real sense of what it means to be Alcornites. And then thirdly, a president who understands competition. We are not, as a university, primarily competing with JSU. We're competing with MSU and SMU and my alma mater, Ole Miss. I had a conversation with a faculty member from Ole Miss who said they are aggressively going after the kinds of students we would most likely be going after, the rural students, black students, and there are more students at Ole Miss than in the whole population here at Alcorn. And so we need a president who's visionary enough to know we need to maintain our HBCU context and culture, while also recognizing that many of our students today, even if their legacy, aren't going to just choose to put up with mold or whatever that's been talked about. They just go down the street to another college or university in the IHL system. And we want to make sure that students know that they should not only choose Alcorn first, but it should be their only choice. And so looking for someone who can do all of those things. I do want to offer what's not so much a rhetorical question, but a question for the board with regards to the process. I understand that it could be the naming of a search committee, and there's this sort of long process that happens. But I would also wonder if the board has the discretion to go in a different direction to select a president. We've seen something similar to that at our sister institution at Jackson State. And so I would want to know if, and maybe you can't answer that today, but in the broadest sense, are we talking about a search with multiple applicants taking multiple months, or are we talking about something more short-term? I think it would be good for the university and our constituents to know kind of where we are in terms of where we're headed with the next president. Thank you.
Reverend Rhodes, I will say that's why the board is here today, to hear your comments, and the board will take those comments under advisement, as well as the online comments, and then chart a path forward regarding the search. So hadn't been determined at this point. That's part of the reason why we're here.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Davenport, and I currently serve as freshman class president. Some qualities I think that should be held in a president here for Alcorn is someone who has worked in the education administration levels before. I feel like that would give them a good background. Also, I believe we need someone who knows the history of Alcorn and wants to honor and showcase this while also leading Alcorn in the future. I also think we need a leader who can relate to the students and be transparent and can relate to the struggles of the students. And that's all I have.
Good afternoon. I'm Yancy Brad, a senior biology major here at Alcorn. I'm also a transfer student after taking a 23-year suspended leave of my academic journey. I also serve as president of the campus's largest honor society, National Society of Leadership and Success. One of the things when I came back to complete my educational journey was when I entered the classroom or laboratory, I saw that the classes and labs were not equipped with what's needed today to take us into the future. And to give you an example, I had a chemistry class last semester. And the syllabus, we should have had, I think, like 5 or 6 labs. We had 2 labs because we were not furnished with what we needed. Also, being a biology major, I had to take labs online because our biology labs are not furnished, are not equipped with what's needed. And I just do not feel like that, whenever I graduate in May, I don't feel like that I have what I need to go out and pursue opportunities in the world that's so far advanced. And to give you a little bit of background, I grew up on a farm, and my passion is farming. So for the last 23 years, I've farmed with my husband. COVID happened, and I realized I could not physically farm by myself, so I returned to school to finish my education so that I could take care of my family. And, being a non-traditional student, I have more challenges than the traditional student. So where I was used to taking notes by notebook and having a printed textbook, it's been a challenge for me to have to step into the digital world of, hey, your book's going to be online, and you're going to just have to, take notes with or not even take notes. But anyway, I just feel like the next president needs to equip the faculty, the staff, with the tools needed to learn in an educational environment. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ronaldo Murray, Associate Dean for the School of Arts and Sciences, College of Arts and Sciences, a 1995 graduate of Alcorn State University, and a Mississippi educated. My traits, the things that I expect from president, because we put a lot of things out there. And we just can't pull those things out of the hat. The first thing I think is just leadership, being able to facilitate academic affairs, putting the best team of academic affairs together to reach the scope of the university. Secondly, someone who can facilitate facilities, management, infrastructure, and campus police. Someone who's dedicated to academics, someone who's dedicated to facilities and student safety. And thirdly, someone who's dedicated to making Alcorn a community. The university will only be as strong as the community. If you look back at the history of Alcorn State University, we were founded for a reason. We need a president who understands his vision, understands where he is, This is not a entry-level position. You must have some experience in administration, some experience in higher education. And then who were your mentors? Who were you around? Who can you point to that was successful? So there's a lot of things involved in that, but we have to have someone to facilitate academic affairs. Very important. Student affairs. Fiscal accountability. You have to put a team together and demonstrate those things. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Burns. I'm a proud 1992 Ag Econ graduate of Alcorn State University, a member of the National Alumni Association, and there's just a few things I think that we should find. I know people are saying we're trying to fill a spot, but we do need a leader. I think the core of that is going to be someone that's proactive, strategic, and a thought leader. A couple of acronyms that go along with that. We need someone that's going to act, someone that's going to be accountable for all of the operations for the university, someone that's open to communication from all of the stakeholders, whether it's current students, faculty, the board, alumni, someone that's going to have an open door communication style where we can speak freely about what our thoughts are. They will take that information and be a good listener and kind of find a gray area where we can both get what we want. Also someone that operates with tact, not disrespecting our legacy or the history of this university, but really understanding what that is and living to make sure that we're here for another 152 years. I came to Alcorn because my aunt and my uncle were professors of the biology and the chemistry department. I was a second generation Alcornite, and today I have an honest with me, the person that has made me, one of the people, I have a family of third generation Alcornites. And I look forward to the next 152 years. I want to say, if it hasn't been said today, thank you guys so much for even taking the time to hear us. We hope you have heard us, and you take this back with making a deep, deep, important thought of who our next leader will be. Thank you.
We have about 25 minutes left allocated to this session, so please don't be shy. We want to hear your thoughts.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Davenport. I am the class of 2000 and my master's in 2009. I also am the child of Alcornites, class of 71, my mother and my father, and I currently have a daughter that's here. So my concern is we're looking for our president. I want someone who, like as people have said before, knows the history and knows the struggles that it takes for us to have our students, for us to have our kids here. My daughter, I've since birth, I've always been about Alcorn, supporting Alcorn, just as my parents supported Alcorn and was about Alcorn. I want her to have that experience. I want her to, when she leaves here, she wants her children to come to Alcorn, to be a part of the Alcorn family. And I feel like we need someone that is going to push the family, that is a part of the community. I think it should be someone that's from the South. I think it should be someone that has been in this situation before, that has been to an HBCU or a university from Mississippi. Mississippi is a very unique place. And when we come here with our dreams and aspirations, and we want a president that's not only going to listen to us, that's going to act, and if those things cannot be what we want to be, give us the reasons why they cannot be. Let us be able to understand those reasonings. And I think that's what we need here at Alcorn.
Good afternoon. I'm Jia Doc, and I am a proud graduate of the class of 1997. And Alcorn has a huge legacy in my family as well. Aunts, my mom, on and on and on. I had no choice. I had to attend Alcorn State University. And I stand to represent the students who can't visit Alcorn, who don't know a lot about Alcorn. In my job, I visit about 14 school districts, and believe it or not, a lot of students have yet to hear about Alcorn State. And I actually want to say that we must have a leader, or have a leader that continues to recruit in the areas that are not so popular, especially the Mississippi Delta, where those students can't travel, or parents may not be college graduates. So I want to make sure that we don't forget about reaching out and getting a recruitment system that is so solid that when we visit other schools or visit other school districts, everybody's rocking purple and gold, or they know something about Alcorn State University. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Antoine Johnson Jr., and I humbly serve as Mr. Freshman. I feel we need a president who has expertise in crisis management. We need a president that is optimistic and has delicate views of partnerships and stakeholders. We need a president that has the ability to work fast or in a timely manner. And finally, we need a president that has excellent communication skills when it comes to alumni, students, and faculty and staff. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I am Jada, a sophomore biology pre-physical therapy major here at Alcorn State University. And today, as we gather here, I do believe that when searching for a president, we should look for someone who's first and foremost honest, attentive to the students. And when I say attentive to the students, someone who's been here before and who's been on the scene to know how the kids interact with each other, why the student engagement is low, people who can pick up on things without having to sit down and, communicate with others, someone who's able to see things before and correct them before others. Because as a president of the university, you should be able to point things out and move forward. Of course, as someone stated, you do need a team, but having a team, it should be something that is just established, and you don't have to always go to your team. As a president, you should be able to take things, learn from them, and move forward and handle things on the inside, but also let the people around you know. And today I was in class, and my professor asked, were we going to the president search. And my classmates responded and they said, what is that? What are we going for? What is the purpose? But they also provided a statement of the president before. I've never seen them. Like, where are they? Like, they're always behind the scenes. And with that being said, I think it's beneficial for somebody to be elected as the next president who's seen, who's there for the students, who you can walk by and they greet you. Somebody who's there, always there, you know, not just behind the scenes. And have we considered taking a step back and looking at somebody who's here and who's promoting what we have and who has done an excellent job of everything that y'all have brought to the table today? And not to be so direct, but as a student, Dr. Cook has helped me tremendously, and I am rooting for him. I'm not sure what everyone else is doing, but yes, I would love to see Dr. Cook, Dr. Tracy Cook, as the next president. Thank you.
I'm still, Norris said need a second. My memory isn't what it should be, so there's some things I should have said earlier today that I forgot. But I'm reminded of a great man who said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We need to have that same approach here at Alcorn. Becoming the president at Alcorn, it doesn't need to be what I'm doing right now to try to get to where I really want to be. This needs to be the destination that they want to be at. I tend to look at things from a process standpoint as opposed to technical, connecting all the dots. But I remember as a young child being taught leadership. Leadership isn't technical. Leadership is basic fundamental stuff. And I remember one thing I was taught and reinforced constantly from various folks is that it doesn't matter who gets it right as long as we get it right. So I guess we all envision a process where at some point you guys will be interviewing somebody. And if I comes out of that person's mouth, I did this and I climbed the mountain and I slew the giant and I did it, then please throw that application in the trash. Okay? We need somebody who understands the value of a team and understands that, I can be successful because I've empowered other technically competent and compassionate people to do their job. And none of us want to let the other one down. So that's the reason we are successful. A lot of you guys were in a room less than a year ago when a leader walked up to the podium and said, I show up for work every day. I can't tell you how much that not only confused me, but it hurt. Because I'd always been taught that you add value every day. So we need a leader, not that shows up. We need a leader that adds value every day.
Good afternoon. Hello. So I'm Keelonda Thomas. I serve as the Assistant Director for Student Engagement, and I also serve as the First Lady of Football. So I have a few pointers that I want to put. So first I'm going to start with budgeting. It's important that we have a president that understands the budgeting for each department. Each department has to function with a certain amount of money to be successful for that department. So finding somebody who is able to create a budget that allows for each individual group to be able to be successful. Technology. We had a student that just came up earlier stating that she is taking online classes for a lab. It's imperative that we eliminate some of the online stuff and move back to students being able to have actual face-to-face classes so they are able to ask those questions instead of asking it in a thread. The second point is athletics. For enrollment, we know that athletics played a big part in the enrollment increase between 2014 and 2017. We need a president that is engaged with athletics, but also knows that athletics generate a lot of the funds that are needed for the institution to be successful. And the final point is marketing. Alcorn in itself is a name, is a brand. However, we need someone who is going to come in and allow for marketing to market the university as a whole. Not market your department, or your department, but market the institution. Thank you all.
Come on, Mr. Tucker.
Henry Tucker, class of 1966. And one of the most important things is that when I came to Alcorn State University, it was a landscape that will never, ever change. That landscape where purple and gold, from birth cradle to the graveyard cemetery. We understand accountability is one of the most important things in that position. We need a president that understands accountability, that understands respect, that understands do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. By the way, I'm the national chaplain for the National Alumni Association. It say, love thy God with all thy mind, body, heart, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. So that means you treat everybody right. You got a student, those students come to be nurtured and to be educated. We need a president that understands that. We need a president that understands the landscape of Alcorn State University. So it is not a new process. You're not looking and seeking something else. You are here to cultivate, to do all of those things that it takes. You know, when that sign say knowledge and character matter, it matters at Alcorn State University. And when you got something going in the right direction, you don't change drivers because you know what you got, but you don't know what you're going to get. It is important. In these 80 years, you make some mistakes, but when you make them, don't go back and try to retract those. You just learn from them and keep going. That's what we need in a president of Alcorn State University. Somebody that understands the landscape, respect individuals. Another thing, and key thing, we need a president that's going to be funded and have the resources to do all of the things that we are requesting. We need finances. I have never broke relationship with Alcorn State University in all of these years that I have been a graduate, a student. By the way, I play football. I haven't had no knee replacement or nothing because I say the way you treat this body and the way you treat Alcorn State University is very important. You need a president. The president needs funds. They take money. You know, when you go to McDonald's, they say, you know, $12 for that hamburger and those French fries that you picked up. It costs the same thing for everybody. So we have to understand that. The student population at Alcorn is a unique student body. I came to Alcorn and, you know, might have pledged, but I didn't have the money to do the things that it would take to go over. So those things was things that you wish for, you know, the substance of things that hope for, but evidence of things that you do understand what I'm saying. So those things are very ultra important. Remember two things, and I'll say it once again. When you got a driver in the seat that's going in the right direction, there's no need to have a substitute until he get tired and wore out. And that's what my statement is. I've been a long life purple and gold. Purple and gold until I die. Thank you.
Don't be shy. I see my English Comp 2 professor sitting back there, Dr. J. Janice Coleman. We're waiting to hear from you. Going once. Going twice. All right. We don't have any more who wish to come, as the pastor would say. If there are no more willing to come, we thank you again for your participation. We appreciate your help in beginning this process of identifying the next president of Alcorn State University. We've heard you and will do our best to develop a candidate profile that reflects the qualities and qualifications that you desire in the next president of this great university. We understand our role in conducting a professional search to select the right person to lead Alcorn State University. We pledge to do our best, and we ask you to give us and the next president your full support. Please review the website I mentioned to monitor the progress of the search. We will now conclude this listening session. Thank you all for your participation. We're dismissed.